Welcome back to Wo Long Fallen Dynasty. In this video we are going through an insane build that I've somehow managed to put together, and this is the exact build I used to take down Lubu, which is one of the toughest bosses in the game. So I thought I'd share it with you guys in detail so you can see exactly what I run and how I did it. If you're stuck on Lubu, there is a video with tips and stuff on the channel for taking down Lubu, and this I'm going to say is a mid-game build because it's being used around part 4. I don't know if there's going to be anything changed out by the time I get to the end of the game, but I will be back with plenty of builds, all different styles, all different virtues being used and things like that. So if we jump into the equipment itself, I run the dual swords, the very first bunch that you get, the chivalrous dual swords, or the chivalrous swordsman dual swords. I have done some upgrading to the gear just to make it a little bit easier to increase the attack power and stuff, but it's not necessary to do that. You will get plenty of loot as you make progress through this game, and a lot of it comes with some quite nice upgrades on it already. Like if we take a look at my other weapon, the wooden poled spear, if I remember correctly, this actually dropped at +5. I never did a single upgrade to this whatsoever. I've got lots of +3s, I've got a couple of +4s I think that are already dropping, and that's in part 4 of the game. But those are my two weapons, and you'll see the attack power. This is 324. They are just absolute beasts when it comes to dealing damage. Then for my ranged weapons, I don't really use these, but I've got a yellow-shouldered crossbow and I've got a Colonel repeating crossbow. They're more of if I'm, say I'm at a part of one of the main battlefields in the games, one of the main missions. I'm at a part where there's 3 enemies on the ground and then there's an archer just sitting on standby waiting. I'll always use one of the crossbows or even a bamboo bow so that I can take down the ranged enemies, and that way I've just got to deal with the melee ones. Then with the armor, the Crouching Dragon helmet is the best helmet I've come across. I've seen lots and lots of different helmets, and I'm a little bit confused with this one myself, because apparently if you play the demo and go through the entire demo, you unlock this helmet. And some people are saying it happened with betas and stuff of the game as well, but I've never ever touched this game prior to release. I downloaded the game on Xbox Game Pass when it first launched, when it became available to play. No demos, no nothing like that, and I was just awarded the helmet. But this helmet, if we have a look at the special effects, has something called Inheritance. So you don't get a lot of bonus stats and things like that, you've just got Dragon's Cure, Pot HP Recovery. But if you have a look here, when you choose to upgrade equipment with this effect at the blacksmith, you'll be able to upgrade it to the highest level of any currently held equipment without spending coppers or materials. So because I have my wooden poled spear at +5, I've been able to upgrade the Crouching Dragon helmet to +5 without spending a single resource. The upgrades have been entirely free. So it boosts the defense up to 76. It's a really, really good helmet. I've used it for the entire playthrough of this game so far. And then for the rest of my armor, I've just got the yellow turban set. I mean, it's not even actually a set. There's no set bonus to it or anything like that. I've leveled it up to it's all +4. But the main stats I go for at the moment is extra HP, so you'll see 2 of these pieces have bonus HP, and then I just basically keep the best stats I find, so I've not actually found any armor that's got better than damage received while attacking. You get lots and lots of loot in this game, but I'd like to just, at the moment, prioritize on one stat to get me, through my first playthrough. And I'm paying attention to the fact that, yeah, this is +4, so the defense is not going to be high on a piece of gear that's +1 or doesn't have any upgrades to it. It's all about the stats, in my opinion, at least relatively early into the game, mid-game, that sort of distance through your playthroughs. But damage received while attacking, I've also got that melee attack spirit damage on there, which is nice as well. And then in my accessories, I've got a bronze dice, or a bronze die. And the reason I've kept this one is because it does have damage received, -1.6%, which is helpful. Spirit consumption a little bit less, but it's got luck +36. And if we take a look at luck, increases the drop rate of equipment with high rarity. So when it comes to the rarity, that's the stars. You'll see this is 3 stars, and I keep getting a lot of 3 and 4 star drops. Then on the other side, we've got the belt hook, and this one is just purely because it's got the health bonus. And then in terms of the Divine Beast, I always run Qing Long because you get a health bonus, and also the Resurrection, so Y and B or triangle and circle on a controller, is going to bring in Qing Long, recover your health, I think it's by 1,000 or something, It revives your companions if they're down. It's just so helpful for survivability. And then in terms of the wizardry spells, I use Imposing Slab. It just deals so much damage if you're against an aggressive enemy that's charging at you all the time. Poison Bubble's just a random one I stuck on. Frost Lance is really, really good if you stun an enemy or something like that. You can just chuck a couple of icicles towards them and it deals like 9 or 10 damage, which doesn't seem a lot, but is really, really helpful. And then I've also got Enhanced Defense. When I do decide to pop this, I receive less damage from enemies and I don't flinch except from some powerful attacks. And then at the bottom, obviously, we've got the Dragon's Cure pots, minor +3, and I've got 6 of them. Then if we tab over, we go to the stats page. You can see all of my stats right there. I've got 16 points into the wood virtue. I've got 30 in earth. And that's going to bring down my equipment weight, because the higher your equipment weight gets, you're actually going to, like, fail with deflecting. Your deflecting is going to become much tougher. And I think deflecting is such an important mechanic in this game. So earth is really, really high, but then wood is also buffed up quite high because that gives you a lot more health than the other virtues. So what we'll do now is we'll jump into a mission and I'll show you a little bit of combat. So if we go to travel, I'm going to go to, we'll go to part 4. We'll go to the Battle of, I'm just going to call that Hooligan Pass. So I've just arrived at the main battlefield. I've made a little bit of progress to a battle flag that I know's got a heavy opponent. And all you want to do, and I'd say it's pretty much the same for every single build, is you want to be way more defensive in this game than you do aggressive. So if I get this guy's attention, if I try and get a nice spirit attack from behind first, deal some nice damage to him, then it's really just all about being defensive, deflecting, and countering off it. So I did a video on the different deflect types in the game. And all you want to do is just nail your timing. Once you've got your timing dealt with, you can pretty much do anything with any build in the game. But this guy has so many different attacks. And once he's at the end of them, you can spam some attacks in. And unfortunately, I can't use Imposing Slab right now because I don't have high enough morale. So there we go. I managed to deflect again. And it's that simple. Deflect a nice fatal strike or whatever they're called, fatal blow, and that guy's dealt with. But then I believe there's another enemy around here we can annoy. So we've got 3 guys over here, and I believe there's one up there somewhere. But what I'm going to do is, if I switch, no, I've got the right crossbow on. So if I lock onto that guy over there, get a headshot, that's going to pretty much have him killed. So he's going to attack me, and then he's going to take a couple of hits, and he's dead. So then we've got this guy. And what I recommend with this is just always hold your left bumper, or L1. Because with L1, as you'll see there, if you mess up the timing with your deflects, you're still going to guard against a lot of attacks anyway. And your goal with this, if I can get some normal attacks in, you'll see my spirit bar go blue instead of building up to the orange side. So every single time you attack, you're getting positive spirit. And then after you've got some positive spirit built up, if you jump in with a spirit attack, you're going to lower the high end of the spirit gauge for the enemy. And it's much easier to break through their defense and deal damage to them. And you'll see, because of the luck, I just got a level 3 drop with +1 upgrades on it. And then right now, because my health is at half for my Divine Beast's ready, if I use Ching Long, I get all that health back, and if I stand in the circle, it keeps giving me health back. And the circle lasts a little while as well. So my spirit got battered there. But I'm healing again. Just keep healing over and over again whilst that circle's there. And then be careful, because I did almost die. See, the game's actually quite tough when you've got multiple enemies after you. So you do need to try and split them up a little bit. I'd always go with the easiest enemy just to get rid of the bonus enemies that are there. So there's one down. Now I've just got to focus on one. I'm getting upgraded gear again. It's all about deflecting. Keep dealing your damage using your spirit attacks. And right there, he was so easy to kill because I depleted so much of his spirit gauge. But that's all I really use. I don't actually really bother with the spear that I've got. It's all about these dual swords, and I said that I did a build video for like early game and where to find the best weapon to start the game with, which was the dual swords. They come in different upgrade levels and stuff, but it's so much fun using them because enemies pretty much don't stand a chance. And that's against bosses as well. I took down Lubu using these dual swords. And Lubu is one of the toughest bosses in the game. But not only that, if you can get your equip load to be light, you'll see on these swords there's a damage bonus when you have a light equip load and it's got an A rating. Also, if you look at the attack bonus, if you spec into water, maybe instead of earth, if you don't mind having that extra weight, like if you want to take a couple of pieces of your gear off and then spec into water instead of earth, you're going to get extra attack bonuses. These swords are fantastic for any player. You deal so many consecutive attacks, enemies don't stand a chance. You're building up your spirit gauge over and over again, so you're getting them powerful spirit attacks in. It lowers the enemy's spirit gauge. And that way you can just perform so many fatal strikes and stuff. And honestly, it makes this game so much easier. I've got mine, they're like 3-star rarity. I've got them +4 upgrades. Their attack power is 245. And I wouldn't be surprised if these carry me through this entire game. But we'll see what happens with my gear and stuff. I'll come back if I find like a significantly better build. And until then, that is going to do it for my build. I'd say it's a mid-game build for Wo Long Fallen Dynasty. Let me know your thoughts and stuff about this game in the comments, and check out this video if you want to see other content on the channel. I will see you in the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.